On July 1st, 2002, a great Jewish builder passed from our midst. Esther Porush accomplished the work of 20 in her short life. And even with her last breaths that were quieted but not broken by the ravages of cancer, she gave instructions to her friends, family, and partners that the clinic must continue to grow, that the projects of the clinic required attention, and these must not be lost to our people. It was this single-minded pursuit of building for Klal Israel that were the hallmarks of Esther's life. It was this single-mindedness that built the Jerusalem Community Health Center to what it is today and set the blueprint for what it can become, so long as we continue building where Esther left off. Many have asked, what motivated Mrs. Porush? Let's have a brief look. Esther's paternal grandparents were originally from Yerushalayim. Her grandmother's grandfather began the tradition of building in Esther's family. He provided the Karlin institutions with the land in Jerusalem's Old City for the building of their institute. Her uncles were the rabbis of Teaneck, New Jersey, and Charleston, each for more than 30 years. Esther's maternal grandparents lived in Charleston, West Virginia. Her grandfather was the gabbai of the Charleston Chevra Kadisha, the one institution that served every Jew in the small community. And it was therefore in Esther's own childhood home in Miami that she was taught the lessons of Chesed and Torah, but not as a theory, but in everyday practice. Theirs was a home open quite literally to every Jew. Esther's dream was to come to Israel and raise her family in Yerushalayim. So they came for a visit and made the decision. The hard decision, with 3 children in tow and 1 on the way. Rabbi Porush left his pulpit in Miami, Erev Rosh Hashanah, exactly 30 years ago. They made their way to Israel to build their family in their land. Mrs. Porush was leaving her whole family behind. Losing her father at the age of 19, she and her mother were more than close. In Israel, no one was waiting for her. As the family grew, the apartment in Tal B'Yot Mizrach became too small, and the family moved to a beautiful little new yeshuv east of Efrat, Male Amos. Starting literally from nothing, living in caravans, without a phone, and a generator that failed if you tried to turn on a little more heat. The family lived there for 3 years and then moved back to Yerushalayim. But her aspirations for building did not end there. 18 years ago, Esther moved from the private to the public building arena. With some encouragement from her mentor, Rabbi Hillel Zaks, Esther set out to create Israel's preeminent dental clinics that would serve the people with the highest level of care at the lowest possible prices. The idea was simple, and it needed to be done. Dental care in Israel is uninsured, is not usually life-threatening, and for families on a budget, it is not always a priority until it is too late. Good dental care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. With the full support of Kurt Rothschild, the United Israel Appeal of Canada, the Reichman family of Toronto, Lil and Nathan Silver, and Jerusalem's own Mayor Ehud Olmert, Mrs. Porush put the pieces together and built a most important institution. The JCHC today has 11 dental professionals, serving more than 3,600 patients each and every year. 10 years ago, Esther discovered EMG biofeedback. Developed in the United States, this time-proven technique helps patients recover the lost movements of their limbs from spinal cord injury or stroke. This provided a whole new challenge. Rising to the challenge, Mrs. Porush has brought EMG biofeedback to the fore in Israel today.
Now, biofeedback is a special form of learning. It is the kind of learning that most people are familiar with in terms of the learning used to ride a bicycle and drive a car. We're using very complex computers to measure how the brain is using brain cells and spinal cord cells to operate muscle. We are taking electrodes, which are surface electrodes, and we put them on the muscle that is paralyzed and doesn't work. We ask the person to try and move a muscle, even though this muscle may not move. And any electrical signal that comes from the brain, through the spinal cord to the muscle, is detected by the computer equipment. It can measure very, very small amounts of brain signal and spinal cord signal coming to the muscle. Then it processes this signal very rapidly and displays it on a large computer monitor. The patient is really watching this computer monitor and seeing how the brain is using certain cells of the brain and of the spinal cord. The task of the person is not really to do exercise or to do a lot of effort in moving the limb like in traditional rehabilitation, but instead to focus on the screen and to, in essence, have the brain hunt around to look for additional brain cells and additional spinal cord cells that may be used to take the place of damaged cells. The person is seeing immediately where he's doing the right thing and the wrong thing by watching on the screen. And very quickly, the brain is learning how to find and make signal to the paralyzed muscle.
לפני שנתיים קיבלתי סטרוק. זאת אומרת, אירוע מוחי ונשארתי משותק בחצי גוף שמאלי. הייתי על כיסא גלגלים, לא יכולתי אפילו לשבת במיטה. כשיצאתי מהדסה, הרופאים אמרו שאין סיכוי בכלל שאני אי פעם אלך. וקניתי לי כיסא גלגלים. נתנו לי אפילו אישור לקנות מנוע מיוחד, רצו שאני אסע תמיד רק על כיסא. למזלי שמעתי על הביופידבק, נסעתי למיאמי לפני שנה ורבע בערך. פעמיים הייתי במיאמי, כל פעם שבוע. נפלתי לידיים של דוקטור ברוקר, נסעתי למיאמי עם טטרפוד וחזרתי בליזה. חזרתי עם מקל רגיל. קניתי אותו במיאמי. וברוך השם היום אני הולך, מתפקד, נוהג לבד, נוסע למשרד, עובד במשרד, ואני הולך.
כל הסיפור של השיטה, של הביופידבק, התחיל כי נולד לי בן עם CP. ובמשך השנים, דרך עם פיזיותרפיה וריפוי בעיסוק, ודרך ניתוחים, הצליחו לתת לו תנועות בכל חלקי הגוף, חוץ מהיד. שמעתי על התוכנית במיאמי, העבודה של דוקטור ברוקר, והחלטנו לקחת אותו שם ולראות אם הם יכולים לעזור לו. וברוך השם הם הצליחו, והם הצליחו לפתוח את היד ולתת לו שימוש באצבעות שלו, שאף פעם לא היה לו. החלטנו בסוף לקחת את הפרויקט הזה כפרויקט שלנו, ולהביא את זה ארצה. כי מהניסיון אישי שלנו ידענו שיש הרבה אנשים בארץ שיכולים לקבל עזרה מהשיטה הזאת. ויקבלו חזרה הרבה תנועות שיכול להעלות את רמת החיים שלהם באופן משמעותי.
Israel, it has a very close place in my heart, and I am very excited and enthusiastic over having the opportunity to bring the biofeedback laboratory here so that the people of Israel can have benefit from the biofeedback techniques.
And in her ongoing openness to using the JCHC where and when it can be of service, Esther initiated several therapies for children with coordination, social, and weight problems in the Jerusalem area.
אנחנו נמצאים במרכז בריאות, מרכז של טיפול בספורט. מדי שבוע מגיעים לשעת פעילות פה, המון ילדים. אנחנו נותנים להם את המענה לבעיות. המטרה שלנו כאן היא לשפר קודם כל את המיומנות של ילדים, לתת להם להרגיש ביטחון. ילד שמגיע לפה בדרך כלל אחרי אבחון, הוא ילד מאוד קשה לו, גם בחברה וגם מבחינה מוטורית. המטרה שלנו היא לקדם אותו בשתי הבחינות האלה, והמקום הזה בכלל נותן המון שמחה והמון אתגר.
It is up to us to help them carry the JCHC forward, to continue to build it in the wonderful blueprint set out over these extraordinary 18 years through the heroic efforts of Esther Porush. There is so much yet to accomplish.
המלאך הגואל עושים, המלאך הגואל עושים מקורו, יברך את הניורים, ויקרא